Hit the music.
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and today we are going to be talking about the TNT title and Wardlow. Now, you're asking yourself, I'm doing this podcast and we're going to be talking about Wardlow and TNT titles. Yes, because those two are synonymous to each other for the simple fact that this past Sunday at AEW Revolution, we had Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. And if you guys went to my video last week for the predictions that I made, I saw Samoa Joe defeating Wardlow for the TNT title. Actually defending the TNT title because he was the champ. And I said to myself, well, you know, there's nothing more that would happen because already Wardlow had lost to Samoa Joe due to a choke hold move that he put him to sleep. And the fact that in that match, you had Samoa Joe attack Wardlow in the back with a pipe. So I could not see any other way where Wardlow will win. Because I say, well, you know what? Maybe, maybe Samoa Joe beats him for the simple fact also that a couple of days before that, Powerhouse Hobbs won the Face of the Revolution. And the winner of that gets to face the TNT champion. So I figured, well, you know what? We already seen Wardlow versus Samoa Joe. We got to see a Powerhouse Hobbs versus Samoa Joe. Little did we know that Tony Khan had other plans. Supposedly, in the match between Samoa Joe and Wardlow on Sunday, Wardlow put Samoa Joe to sleep. Now, I think that was the ending. I could be wrong. But my point is that Samoa Joe lost the TNT title. When that happened, I was shocked. And I was shocked with the simple fact, I'm like, oh, so he wins the TNT title. Why are they taking the belt away from Samoa Joe? And it made sense to me in a way. Because then I said to myself, oh, this is the reason why Samoa Joe lost. Was because now Samoa Joe, who was the Ring of Honor World TV Champion, was going to go to Ring of Honor because he was being called by Tony Deppen for a world title shot, which happened yesterday, supposedly. So I say, okay, also, Supercard of Honor is coming on March 31st, which is the end of this month. So you need Samoa Joe in there. And maybe they didn't want to bring the TNT title into Ring of Honor. Fine. So I say, okay, so Wardlow has the title. A couple of days later, they announced that actually not a couple of days, but the same night they announced that Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow will face each other. On Wednesday, Tuesday night to Wednesday, there was word that came that Wardlow's car, his rental car, was vandalized. It was broken into. His TNT title was stolen. His wrestling gear was stolen. Everything was stolen. He made a video saying that the person who did it was lucky that he didn't catch him in the act. So I was like, that's messed up because now how the hell they're going to have this match where Wardlow doesn't even have a title because they stole the title. So what happens? On Wednesday, they announced that AEW Dynamite announced that Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs was going to be the main event. But they were going to talk about what happened to Mr. Wardlow and the incident in the car. Powerhouse Hobbs got an interview that night. Did a promo. Wardlow then, when he said he didn't have his wrestling gear, so therefore a couple of his friends lend him some clothes for him to use. We were talking about FTR. Next thing you know, you had Wardlow announcing that he was going to wrestle Powerhouse Hobbs in anything falls count of 4 counts anywhere match. Now my thing is, I'm saying to myself, why is this happening when why they can't have a regular match? You know what I'm saying? And so they had their match. Next thing you know, during the middle of the match, when they by the stage area, QT Marshall appears. And he goes and hits Wardlow with 2 chair shots, helps Powerhouse Hobbs pick up Wardlow. They threw him down in a stage area where it looked like when he landed in a mattress, because there wasn't even wood. And Wardlow did not get up on the 10 count. So the TNT title changed hands. Powerhouse Hobbs became the TNT champion. I have an issue with that. For the simple fact that the TNT title, since January of 2022, has become a hot potato title. It has become the new version of the 24/7, the one that WWE had a couple of months ago. The fact that this year alone, the belt has changed at least 3 times within less than 2 months. Okay, it has gone from Samoa Joe, to Darby Allin, from Darby Allin back to Samoa Joe from Wardlow, and now Wardlow to Powerhouse Hobbs in 3 months. That's almost 5 title changes and whatnot. What has happened to the TNT title? It has been tarnished to the point where does it even really matter in the AEW Dynamite at all? You know, the fact is a TNT title and whatnot. And if that's the case, then have that TNT title defended then only on Rampage, since Rampage is being viewed through TNT. Don't bring it to the AEW, the main flag show, because it has become a third tier title. And I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, they already upgraded the All Elite Atlantic title, or the All Atlantic title, to now the AEW International Championship as of this past Wednesday, which makes the TNT title drop to another level, and is now behind the AEW World title and behind the AEW International title. So we have an issue going on here. The TNT title has been tarnished since the time when Sammy Guevara's first title reign, and he lost the belt to Cody Rhodes. That belt then got tarnished, because then right after that, Cody beats Sammy. 2 weeks later, Sammy gets the belt back. Then after that, Sammy loses the belt to Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky then loses to Sammy Guevara again, and then Scorpio Sky gets it back. A couple of weeks later, or a month and a half later, Wardlow gets it. Wardlow was the only one right now that I remember was the one who kind of kept the belt for a while till he lost it this past early winter. And now they're hot potatoing the belt again. Now we got to ask the same question. What is Tony Khan's plan for the TNT title? Not only that, but was it me or we just saw Wardlow get buried? Now, that's a hard thing to say for about a wrestler, but let's be realistic. Wardlow's momentum was killed once he lost that TNT title in that 3-way. Okay? We figure, well, he lost the belt in a 3-way. He didn't get pinned. Powerhouse Hobbs did. Okay? Why not continue that momentum for him to get his belt back and try to go at Samoa Joe? Instead, they didn't do that. They went and they put Samoa Joe against Wardlow again, but this time Samoa Joe went and hit Wardlow with a pipe behind the scene before the match. Then after that, not only does Wardlow loses the belt and gets choked out, but he gets his hair get cut off, his little bun and whatnot. So now the storyline is, I lost everything. I lost my hair. Then my father always saw me. So they're making it look like Wardlow has lost everything. Okay, whatnot. So this past weekend, the fact that he lost, he didn't get pinned, but he got hit with a chair shot, 2 chair shots by QT Marshall, and he didn't get up on the 10 count. Now, is that a good way for him to lose? Maybe. It doesn't make him look that weak, but now my question is, what are you going to do with him now? Because I'm thinking maybe they'll put him in a title picture and go against MJF. Not after that. You know what I'm saying? So it's very debatable if he got buried or not. You know what I'm saying? Because what's next for Wardlow? And if his contract's coming up or whatever, and you think that he may not go to WWE, it's a possibility he might go. Same thing there with Brian Cage. Brian Cage, his contract is up. AEW did not utilize him the way they were supposed to utilize him. This is a man who was an Impact World Champion. Okay, and they didn't utilize him. He left. They had to another opportunity for them to even explode, put him to the point where he could, be in the title scene, the world title scene. Instead of having him in tag team with Ricky Stark, feuding with Darby Allin and Sting. And the only world title match that he really got, I believe, was when him and John Moxley met the first time. And I think his biggest win to my knowledge, was his win against Hangman Page, when Hangman Page was going after Kenny Omega. So now, again, this is all about AEW not capitalizing, or Tony Khan not capitalizing on the stars that he has. Wardlow is one of the originals. They couldn't win and push him to the moon, but they broke his momentum. They killed his momentum. Is he ever going to recuperate and get his momentum? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think he's pretty much done and whatnot, and I don't think he's going to get his momentum back. No way in the world. You know what I'm saying? And if he does, I'm wondering how they're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because, we could say that, Powerhouse winning the belt was good. It's great. Powerhouse winning the TNT title is the way they did it. Does it legitimize Powerhouse Hobbs? Kind of. Because, you probably asking yourself why QT Marshall is involved with Powerhouse Hobbs. I mean, and they mentioned about after the AEW Dynamite went out of air, they were talking about that QT Marshall shows a bunch of texts to Powerhouse Hobbs talking about he had his back, whatever. And this goes back when Powerhouse Hobbs was feuding with Ricky Starks. And the factory was helping Powerhouse Hobbs in his feud with Ricky Starks and whatnot. Now the factory is no longer around. Nick Camarada's not part of QT Marshall. Aaron Solo's not part of QT Marshall. So it kind of makes up for that story. That's good for Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall, because now they got a story now. What happens to Wardlow, though? Where does he go from here? That's something that we got to figure. Not we, but Tony Khan has to figure out what he's going to do with Wardlow, or else he's going to lose them to WWE. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. So we'll see. We will see, and we're going to keep an eye on that. But it is sad that the TNT title, who was a secondary title, and it's funny because there were a podcast that claimed that the TNT title, he thought it was going to be like the Intercontinental title. No. TNT title is a TV title. It will be treated as a TV title, but the TV titles that I've seen in my 40-something years of me watching wrestling never got tarnished like the TNT title has been. It's become the new 24/7. The new 24/7. And it's not that anybody could tell me otherwise. So, and I said this since day one when I started doing this podcast, and since day one, since AEW started, I said that I was not going to sugarcoat anything when it comes to AEW. And right now, AEW, instead of going, they do a right turn and going the right way, and then they do a detour and then somewhere else. And you'll be like, wait a minute, but you was over here right now. Why are you over there? And that's exactly what they're doing. A lot of people don't like AEW, and that's their opinion. That's the prerogative. A lot of podcasters don't like AEW. They always got something negative to say about AEW. Fine. That's your prerogative. You like WWE? Fine. Like I said, when it comes to WWE, when that bloodline storyline ends, I want to see where everybody's gonna be at. That's gonna be the best part for me. I'm gonna enjoy this shit. But when it comes to AEW, they don't get this shit together, they're gonna be the next TNA, the next Impact, because they need to get this shit together. They need to get this shit together. So we'll see. So pretty much, guys, if you want to follow me on social media through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course the YouTube channel. I got my channel here. Also, you guys want to follow my audio podcast, which is a little different than this, but I usually post it on my audio podcast. So people who don't go to YouTube gets to listen to it through whatever Spotify, whatever they want to look at it, or Instagram, Apple, or any other audio podcast that you got likes to listen to. So I like to put it so you guys get to listen to it and whatnot and see what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you the facts. I'm not going to bullshit. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be a mark and be like, oh, AEW is doing it. No, AEW right now, it's not doing the best. and they're kind of fucking up. And I'll be the first one to say it. So, but again, you want to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can find me there. Also, guys, you want to check out my merchandise store, home of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. You go to TCWR.veryinkpressive.com. Let me say it again, TCWR.veryinkpressive.com, and check out my sweaters, my t-shirts, and my hat in there with the Chokeslam Wrestling Report logo, and I got different logos in there. You guys can check it out. You can also register to the website, and you get to access to the YouTube channel, and you get access to the audio podcast instead of going through YouTube or audio podcast, whatever you want to do. But yeah, and if you scroll down, that's where you see all the merchandise. Again, I want to thank all my supporters who have been supporting my YouTube channel. Again, check out my YouTube short stories I got there to support that. Check out any other audio, any video content that I have there. Support it. Tell your friends, share it, do whatever you need to. Again, guys, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know your thoughts on the TNT title. Let me know what's going to happen to Wardlow. Let me know everything, and I would appreciate it. Again, once again, guys, I will definitely see you next week with other stories. You know me, I'm always on top of everything. Things that some people don't want to talk about because everybody's too involved with the WWE and other stuff. But we'll check that out and we'll see what happens. Until then, guys, be safe, and I will talk to you next week.